Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie, and I'm back making this little Act 5 series, and I'm doing it for a number of reasons. The first is I have gotten a lot of questions about Act 5, and honestly, it's been a long time since I've gone through it, so I'm kind of finding them hard to answer because it was so long ago. And plus, when I did it, we didn't have the champs that we have today. And another reason I'm doing it is there are a lot of new players out there. I've got some friends that have started playing the game, and they're looking for some Act 5 content and some Act 5 guides. So with this series, I'm hoping to kind of do my best to explain and walk through Act 5, go over the past, the bosses, the nodes, and champ information that is relevant to 2019. So for this video, we're going to be taking a look at Act 5.2, Weird Science. No, not the movie. Now, I'm not going to be going through each path in a video. I may be doing that in later chapters, but in 2019, these early chapters, they're pretty straightforward. The nodes are pretty simple. So the first thing that I want to do is go over this spreadsheet. Now, this is an active spreadsheet, so if you guys have any suggestions to it, please feel free to leave it in the comments of this video, and I can update it as we go. Now, I have the paths labeled out here, what I think are the hardest and the easiest. Path 1 I find to be the hardest. It's got the most nodes in it. Path 2 is definitely the easiest. The boss, Psylocke here, she is completely unnoted. Path 3 and Path 4, they're pretty simple, straightforward, but they're not quite as easy as Path 2. So they're definitely all color-coded, and you can find them on the map here. Now, there is a link to the map that you can go ahead and click on, download, use it to plan out your strategies, that sort of thing when you actually go into it. Now, I know Path 1 here looks totally empty right in this middle section, right? Wrong. There are some ambushes here, and we'll get into that in a little bit, which you can see I did say here. Now, I had 3 ambushes. You may have more, you may have less, you may have different champs than me, but we'll get into that when we go over that path in general. So I also have the list of all the champs that you will be fighting, and their nodes as well. So, and I have a description of the nodes, so feel free to take a look at it. That way you can kind of plan ahead and know what you're getting into. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick at the map in general. So this is it, and you can see here you start at this one. This map here is kind of weird. It's kind of convoluted, right? And it's also kind of a choose your own adventure. There are lots of options in this chapter in 5.2.1. However, I found it easiest to divide it up into 4 paths. That way you're getting it taken care of in 4 paths instead of trying to do a bunch of different ones that could end up, costing you more energy and that sort of thing. But this is not set in stone. This is just how I found it, the easiest to get you to that crazy spiral at the end. So, but like I said, this will get you to 100% the map in only 4 go-throughs, which, yes, please. So let's go ahead and go back to the spreadsheet and look at the global node. Now, we have 2 global nodes for this. We've got role reversal and power shield. So let's go ahead and talk about role reversal. It's pretty straightforward. The class relationships on this node are reversed. Pretty easy, right? So definitely keep that in mind when scouting out your paths. Now, there is one little thing I have, and it's probably just a pet peeve of mine, nothing to get up in arms about, but with role reversal, it doesn't show up at the start. Like, it should be switched here, right? Normally, Hyperion, who's a cosmic, would have class disadvantage over Ghost Rider, who's a mystic, but with role reversal, that's switched. But here, it doesn't actually show that at the beginning, and that's just a little pet peeve of mine, so to speak. It's probably not that big of a deal. It probably doesn't bother anyone else, but it irritates me. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the second global node, and that is Power Shield. And this one is kind of fun. I think it is. So for this one, this is basic attacks deal no damage, but you deal 400% off of your specials. So for this one, you want to bring in champs that do major damage off their specials, like Starkey off his special too. Oh boy, that's insane. or have nice damaging effects off of their specials, you know, like a bleed, a poison, incinerate, something like that, it will be tremendously amplified. So, you know, champs like Gwenpool, her incinerate will be amplified off that special one. Hype, his incinerates, you'll see that here in a minute when we go over path 1. But he also has that constant power gain, which really makes him MVP for this. Blade's special 2 would just annihilate someone. Ghost, her special 2 is crazy. So champs like that, keep in mind for this power shield. Now, I should also note that this node amplifies abilities that come from specials like healing. So this makes Rogue extremely beneficial in this. Now, I know you're thinking Rogue doesn't hit that hard, but she can life steal off of her special 1 and also steal the buffs. And that life steal will essentially take her, if she is down to almost no health and you launch that special 1, it will bring her almost up to full health. And I'll show you guys that in a minute when we go over that path. So now let's talk about the paths, right? Path 1 doesn't seem that bad, right? Now I said that it seems like this is empty here, right? Wrong. That is very deceptive, because I remember the first time I went through it, I got ambushed, and going through it again, I got ambushed again. So I definitely have this recorded, and you know what, we can take a walk through, but let's go over some of these other paths first. So you've got, let's go ahead and go with path 2. You come through Deadpool, pretty straightforward, not that hard of a champ. If you go and you take out Ronan, you unlink Wolverine. And then you go through Unstoppable Colossus, who removes all linked nodes from the boss, which obviously makes this the easiest. Then you move through Electro, who unlinks Iron Man. And then you go through Moon Knight, you come over here, shoot up, and then you go straight over here, and you go through Wolverine and Iron Man, and then to the boss. So then if we go through path 3, you go through Black Panther, who takes away Groot's nodes, which is buff duration, which is helpful. And then you move through Loki and Storm unlinks Doctor Strange, who also removes buff duration. Then you shoot up here and you land here, and you go through Groot, Doctor Strange, Venom, White Mags come around this little circle, Wolverine, Iron Man, and Psylocke. All right, now if we look at the final path here, path 4, it's this pink path. You go through OG Thor, X-23 unlinks Venom, and then you go through Symbiote Spidey, and then you go through Luke Cage, who unlinks White Magneto. He removes their armor-ups. And then you go through Falcon, come over here, shoot up here, and you start here with Venom, White Magneto, come around the little circle, Wolverine, Iron Man, and Psylocke. So all in all, path 3 and 4, not too hard. Path 2, definitely the easiest. And now let's get into path number 1, which is probably the hardest one. Now, like I said, it looks clear right here, but as you can see, we get our first ambush, which is Ghost Rider. So I went ahead and brought in Hyperion for this. Now, remember, role reversal, so I now have the class advantage, which is awesome. So I go ahead and build up my Furies, and look at the incinerate damage. He's got 3 incinerates, and they're doing 526 per tick. So goal here, spam that special 1. You definitely don't want to bring in champs that don't gain power easily, like Sim Supreme, and this is why. Because you do no damage off your basic attacks, right? You've got to build up your power. And champs like Sim Supreme and Doctor Strange, they just don't gain that power quick enough in order to do the damage. So he's already at almost 3 bars of power, and I'm now just at 1.5 bars of power. So I decided, I was like, nope, done. So I bring in Starkey here. Definitely want to build up his poise charges here. So if you want to bring in Blade to get the extra 3 poise charges at the start of the fight, if you do decide to bring in Starkey, that's always a good option. Blade does a ton of damage off his special too, so he would be another really great option for this. Plus he has the on-demand regen if he's awakened, if you do kind of slip up. So we've built up to 5 poise charges, 6 now, just trying to build them up more before we launch the special 2 to try to get the most damage that we can out of it. It's best to try to build it up to 10. So now we've got the 10 poise charges, launch the special 2, and it pretty much instantly kills Joe Fixit. So now we are on our third ambush, and it's a Quake. Now, I'm really not sure if these will be the same for everyone. Let me know in the comments below if you've gone through this, or, you know, when you go through this, if you receive these same ambushes, same number, same champs. You know, if not, who did you guys get? I'd love to hear what you guys got. So, you know, maybe we could update it to potential possible champs. That would be great. But I decided to bring in Gwenpool here. Now, she now has the class disadvantage, but we've got the Incinerate on her. We got the bleeds going, and that's what really matters here. Get some good damage over time going. And I love Gwenpool's little hearts off of her medium and specials. I think they're just fun. So go ahead and bait out her specials. I find Quake's special 2 easier to evade than her special 1. Even though we kind of blocked it, we still got those Quake charges on us. So you need to be mindful of those Quake charges if you don't want to get stunned by the Quake charges. Throw your special right before the timer goes off. That way you don't get stunned and she doesn't come in smacking you on the face. So, but Quake goes down pretty easy. So now we are finally out of the ambush stage and launched up to the first part of the spiral, and we've got Star-Lord. Now Star-Lord has Fisher. And I brought in Hype, and I know I now have the class disadvantage, but like I said earlier, you really don't need to pay much attention to that, because just bring in the champs that can do the damage. Look at that damage roll. All right, so now we're at OG Spidey, and OG Spidey has critical, so definitely don't want to get caught here. I was kind of messing up a little bit here, you'll see it, but Venom would be great for this. You definitely would want to build up to Venom's special 2. Remember, Spider-Verse champs cannot evade against Venom, so, you know, he won't evade, so you won't get caught. If you don't have Venom, definitely, you know, do the 3-hit combos and then back away. But with Venom, when you do, if you do bring Venom in against this Spidey, just go ahead and launch your special 2. You'll convert all of those buffs into Furies, and it'll be like insta-death for OG Spidey. So, but I decided to go ahead and bring in Gwenpool for this. Gwenpool does have that ability accuracy, so he won't be able to evade. And she does get the bleeds and the incinerates, and with Power Shield, you know, she gets the incinerates off that special, does great, but he evaded that there, so that kind of messed me up a little bit. But any champ that does a lot of damage off their specials is great for these fights. Ghost would be another good option. There's so many I can think of. Star-Lord's special 2 would do an immense ton of damage, so definitely keep that in mind when you're going into these paths. All right, so now we're on to Groot. And Groot has extended buff duration, so you want to be careful here. He can kind of shrug off those parries pretty quick. Think like fighting Rogue, so definitely want to be careful there. Bait out if you're finding him shrugging off your parry too quick, just bait out the heavies and go in after that. But we're just bringing in Hype here, and Hype is just going to incinerate him. You want to try to bait out his special 1 over his special 2. His special 2 is unblockable, plus he regens. So definitely try to bait out Groot's special 1s and do as much damage with your special as you can. And I am just really not playing all that great here. Must have been tired. No, who knows? But Magic would be great here. Just build up to the special 3. Since he has buff duration, just go ahead, wait till you get to the special 3 and he has all his buffs up, and that would be like, boom, insta-death for Groot. All right, so now we're moving on to Doctor Strange, and like Groot, he has extended buff duration. So you're actually going to see here, he's going to have 2 buffs up at a time. There he's got the shield, his armor, and his fury up. Now, I need to make a note of this, is you definitely do not want to launch your special when his armor is up, because it's not going to do a whole lot of damage, and you're going to see that here in a minute. So there he's got his shield or his armor up, and I go ahead and launch my special 2. Now those past couple fights you saw Starkey launched his special 2 and it was like boom, insta-death. Well, because he had his armor up, it did like no damage. I know all I hear is Hez in the background going, you did no damage. So I'm like, all right, cool. Next time, don't launch the special when the armor is up. So I'm building my poise charges up, want to get up to 10, and want to make sure he does not have his armor up buff. Just trying to bait out those special ones. For me, it's easier to dodge his special 1 than it is his special 2. If you do push him to his special 2, just kind of take that first blocked hit and then, you know, evade the second part. It's a lot easier that way. But there, he didn't have the armor up, launched the special 2, and insta-death. All right, so now we are at Venom, and Venom has armor up. And I brought in Rogue here. Now, Rogue is at 19% health. Launched the special 1, and we are back up to 90% health. That's what makes Rogue so great for this. Even if you slip up and you come in with not a lot of health for the next fight, just launch your special 1 and you'll be up to almost full health instantly. So I'm just trying to bait out Venom's special 1 here. I don't want to get hit by his special 2. Sometimes Venom's special 2 can kind of come out of nowhere for me, and he converts all those buffs into fury, so you want to be mindful of that. So definitely try to bait out his special 1 over his special 2. It's a lot easier to dodge. At least it is, in my opinion. But Venom, overall, not a hard fight. Magic would be another good one for this. He's got all those buffs up. Just launch your special 3, and it'll probably be instant-death for poor Venom here. So I launched Rogue special 2 there, Power Steel, launched special 1, and I thought that was going to kill him right there, but it didn't. But luckily I had enough for another bar of power, and now Venom goes down. So now we are moving on to White Magneto, and he's got armor, but other than that, really nothing too special here. Brought in Gwenpool. Now, normally, again, this would be a class disadvantage, but with role reversal, it's a class advantage. So just trying to, you know, bait out his special 1. His special 2 can kind of be dicey to dodge, and if it hits you, it's really going to hit you. So definitely try to bait out White Magneto's special 1. I go ahead and launch my special 2, but he blocks it. I guess I was a little slow on the draw or something there. Not really sure. This ends up being a really long fight with Gwenpool for some reason. I don't really know why. And I'm losing my voice. But go ahead and launch the special 3, get the bleed going. I didn't get the incinerate because I'm magnetized, so you definitely want to be mindful of that when fighting Magneto is coming in with a potential metal champion. You're going to be magnetized, so your abilities are going to be reduced a little bit. And so if you bring in Starkey, you know, he's going to be magnetized, but any champ will really work pretty well against Magneto. Definitely champs that deal out special or deal heavy damage. Again, here I pushed him to a special 2, not something I wanted to do because I was like, oh, it's always a 50-50 shot. So now we're moving on to Wolverine, and he has 50% attack and health. So I go ahead and bring in Hype for this. I'm trying to build up my Fury so that I can have more damage off my specials. So, but he's kind of being stingy here, not wanting to come at me. So I've got 6 Furies right now. Hit him again. I lost some of them there. So we're back up to 6 Furies. Launch the special 3. Wolverine is at 100% health. After the special 3, Wolverine is down to 40%. So we knocked off 60% health with Hype's special 3 there. But really with this, you really want to just kind of chain throw that special 1 when you get the Furies up with Hype, because that incinerate damage is going to be so much. And so that's the goal here. I'm trying to bait out his special 2 here. But, you know, Blade would work well here too. Really a heal block champ would do well. So Gwenpool would actually be good here. She's got that ability accuracy reduction. So she would be a good one, especially with the role reversal. But really a heal blocker would be ideal here. That way he can't regen, but he goes down pretty easy. So now we're moving on to Ironman, and he also has 50% attack and health. Now I went ahead and brought in Hyperion here, and of course, even though this is role reversal, I have the class disadvantage, but with that incinerate damage, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. So I really, like I said before, wouldn't pay no mind to it. So now we're moving on to Psylocke, and she has Resonance Cascade. So basically with Resonance Cascade is her critical her critical hits increase her critical rate by X%, and she's got a Fury. So she also has 50% attack and health because she's still noted up from Electro. But overall, or not Electro, excuse me, from Unstoppable Colossus. But overall, Psylocke, she's really not that hard of a champ to fight. Right here, I'm just trying to bait out, not bait out, I keep saying bait out. I'm trying to build my poise charges with Starkey. I want to get up to 10 before I launch my special 2. I think what made Psylocke initially kind of tricky was when this first came out, when Act 5 first came out, was when she was first introduced into the game. But now we've all been fighting her for so long. Even the new players have been fighting her a lot, whether it be arena or what have you. So she's not that hard. One special 2 from Starkey, and down she goes. But that's all that I've got for Act 5.2.1, Weird Science. But what do you guys think? Are there any changes that I should make to this spreadsheet? Would you go the path that I went? Or, what choose your own adventure would you choose with the map? Who did you bring in to fight these champs? What do you think of Role Reversal and Power Shield? Who do you think are the champs that deal the most damage off their special? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys like what you saw and you want to see more, please remember to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.